Hi guys, and welcome back finally to the episode 28 of the Spfl RTG on FC25. It's been a wee while, not just since the RTG's been up, but a full official video has been up on the channel with the football season on hiatus, just going back into pre-season. Decided to take a wee break from making videos for a wee bit, apart from a couple of shorts here or there to do with transfer news and stuff like that, which we'll get to before the season starts. We'll do the prediction videos on all that. Discussing how the transfers have gone, all that sort of stuff. And also planning to do a wee personal ranking video on the kits for the teams in the Scottish Premiership as well. But that's by the by, getting to how the RTG's looking. As you can see, we've got a fair few new evolutions in the team of players that haven't been in it for a little while. Also, the Shapeshifters cosmetics on them now that Team of the Season is over with, which I have to say, a lot like some of the other promos in the year, if I wasn't doing an RTG, probably underwhelming. The SPFL players don't feature as much anyway. I don't see why they don't just include a Team of the Season for every single league in the game to make it more exciting. Yes, the market might be all over the place, but, and I think the evolutions have been a wee bit underwhelming of late as well. However, as you can see, some of the newer features in the team since last time, we've got Kevin Nisbet back in the team for the first time in a while, playing at Cam. We've got Lawrence Shanklin back in the team, of course. Callum McGregor's featuring in the team for the first time in a wee while as well. And then we've got our new left back in Graham Carey sitting there too, of course, with a couple of new additions as well. For example, Greg Taylor sitting there on the reserves along with Yutaro Oda as well. He went into a few combined ones along with Nicholas Kuhn too. Wee bit of Evos to get them up to scratch there for that. And then, of course, as you can see, we've got an in progress Danny Armstrong, which we will address when we get to him. But the big news of the video in reality is that we have finally managed to get ourselves into a position where we have broken one of the records that we were requiring to break, or achieved one of the goals that we were requiring to do anyway, which is the Foot Champs win ratio finally getting done. As you can see, we had one game to do it, and we managed to win it 7-6. We were 3-0 down in this game, and I thought, oh, well, that's another weekend where it's gone. But we managed to come back, and we managed to win the game 7-6 and get those 11 wins sorted. Is the rewards worth it? I mean, they were all right. As the Shapeshifters market, unless you get one of the high-end ones, isn't great in the first place. But we did pack a semi-decent one in Company, who went for a decent amount compared to some of the others. Already had the 3 picks, as you can see there, sitting in the club. And we got another tradable Ramirez as well. But what it does mean is that we can now tick off the goal there for the RTG. As you can see, of course, before the game came out, it wasn't known that it was only going to be 15 games, so I had 14-6 as the original one. We changed that, of course, to 11-4 after it was revealed that there was only going to be 15 games, and we have managed to achieve that now. So I think the next goal that we're going to pursue is reaching the Elite Division, because the own every SPFL icon and hero card, including multiple versions, I'm probably going to do near the very end when everybody's dirt cheap after footies and pre-season comes out. Getting on to just a wee update on the overall record as well. Of course, we're using the Aberdeen home kit and Hibs away kit at the moment with the Hearts badge, and Brendan Rodgers is the manager, and we're sitting with that as our win-loss ratio, with our draws in there too. And that's how we're sitting in terms of club value, match earnings, transfer profit, and top squad as well. Given the fact that we haven't spent any points apart from the pre-order ones available to us on the account, I'm pretty pleased with how the transfer profit has come out. We're obviously not trading or anything like that. That's just all transfer profit from rewards, rivals, any reward packs that we get, that sort of thing. That's all came from that. So, just a little update on in terms of what we're looking at in the club at the moment. We did do an SBC recently for the centre-back evolution, and some of the fodder went into that, but that just a little bit of a view on some of our higher rated cards, most of which have come from player picks from Foot Champs rewards, and maybe some, rush objectives and stuff like that, but that's what's sitting in the club at the moment in terms of some nice ratings. Scott McTominay would have been nice if we were doing a Scotland one, which I am considering also doing next season. Vinny Jr. and Shaqiri would have been worth a fair bit when they first came out. Valverde's not a bad pick there. Of course, we did the Frimpong SBC just in case I decided to do a little bit of past and present towards the end of the year. Some other ones sitting there, obviously the Grealish and the Lehman were from the season pass, as was that Dudek. And then we've got a couple others as well. Aloran. Really surprised at how cheap he is on the market, actually. I thought he would have been more expensive. In terms of the Scottish Premiership special cards, is a little bit of an update that we're at the moment. Some of them, of course, are in the starting 11 or bench. Every single one in front of you there actually was featured in the starting 11, bench or reserve, so nobody new to discuss there. In front there, of course, we've got that James Forrest, who wasn't featured in the starting 11 or bench. Now there was Ronan Hale. He's been really good. If he can go into another one, I think he'll find his way back into the squad at some point too. Casemiro, of course, one of the first major evos that we did throughout the year. Alex Valle sitting there too. Gary Mackay-Steven. We've got the Jamie McGrath, which is one of the only promo cards we got this year by Rami. Actually, 5 promo cards technically next to each other. Of course, we've got the DeMarcus Beasley there, Alistair Johnson, Trapanowski, Randall, Engels, Hatate, all with 4 playstyle pluses, some of them there that we are supposed to be getting some new evos that 4 playstyle pluses can go in. So let's see if they qualify for any. A little bit out of order in terms of the ratings, but we've got some others there. Obviously, Tony Watt. I really like the way he plays in game, but he's currently not in the starting 11. The Ekpiteta, who actually was put into the one, as you can see with how low his dribbling is, with the big boost centre-back one we got for building the team of the season. And I forgot to do the squad battle stuff to give him 99 physical. But I have been putting some of the playstyle evolutions onto him, which, if and when he gets one that can go into a dribbling boost, I think he should be pretty good in game to use. Jeffrey Schlupp, unfortunately can't play left back, even though he's played there in real life, but he can play on the wing or in the middle of the park, so he's got some decent stats. He just, something about him in game feels a wee bit off. Josh Campbell, really like the way, of course, that card feels in game. Silla, you'd think he'd be really clunky, especially with the 80 dribbling, but he's actually okay. Martin Boyle, really nice stats. He's just not been in the starting 11 all that much. And then, of course, there's that new Oda that we've done. Dan Casey was obviously the one that we picked for the team of the year. He's currently not in the starting 11. We'll see if he can get back into it at some point. On to some of the, quote, lower-rated cards now. Paul Vara, he's gone into a few. It's a shame he can't play centre-mid, because I think he'd be really good, and I don't play a formation that can play CDM, but he can play there. Duke, of course. Paolo Bernardo, he went into a couple recently, centre-mid, and one that turned him into a right-winger, and I put him into the right winger into a right back evolution, so he's got some really nice stats now. One more Evo, and he should be really nice. He was actually quite good in game. Penrice hasn't featured all that much for a wee while, but feels decent in game. Yuan, he's only got the 2 playstyle pluses, but he felt good when he was there. He's a potential candidate for future Evos, of course. We've got that Maida that we Evoed from the start of the year, but his team of the season overtook it. Tavernier, I just put him into the centre-back one, and a new Evo dropped, or is set to drop soon, where a right back can go into it as long as they can't play centre back. I put him into the centre back one because, as you can see, his shooting and defending stats are lagging behind a little bit. Shooting, part and parcel, a right back Evo can boost that, but defending, I was like, I'll stick him into this one, and if a centre back one comes in, that should boost his defending, and then lo and behold, we get a right back Evo scheduled to come. That, as long as they can't play centre back, they can go into. Hadji, of course, nice stats, can also play left back, but hasn't featured in a little while. And the Czerny with his team of the season. That Czerny can actually play centre mid, but with the team of the season, it hasn't featured all too much. And then some of the others, Raskin and McCowan have qualified for a couple recently, and they've looked like they would be really good options. I'm just holding out for them at the moment. And then some of the lower rated ones, as you can see, needing a wee bit more chains. Same here, we've got some of the 74s that have got really high stats. Who knows, maybe Mulligan can go into that new right back one that's going to drop very soon because he can play there. Declan Gallagher, I put him into a striker one so that he could go into that striker one that turned him into a centre back, and the 99 defending one, as you can see. If he gets a bit of a pace boost, which that's why I put him into the striker one, because if a striker evo comes, hopefully defending won't be an issue and he might get a massive pace boost from there and potentially could be a big option for us at centre half, as well as a dribbling boost from a striker option as well, of course. We've got Danilo, who's potentially looked at a couple of evos recently and he looked like he'd be really good in games, so he's maybe one to watch out for. And Daba can play centre half, so if we get a big boost from him, that could be one that we look at. And of course we've got Sokordanda on right there as well, who could potentially go into them. Butland, there's rumours that we're getting goalkeeper evos, because some of you might have noticed that you can put cosmetics onto them in the web app, so fingers crossed we might get one. Whether he goes into it or not depends on how big the boost is. Ross Laidlaw might be my option with him being 6'7". And then of course we got some that were missed out on when I was a bit busy earlier in the year, and Ferry as well. In terms of how the team is looking when you've got all teams represented, Trapanovsky on the bench, of course, for representing Dundee United. Then we've got Butland for Rangers, Bomono for St Mirren, Rubicic for Aberdeen, Dan Casey for Motherwell, Penrice for Hearts, Gary Mackay-Stephen for Kilmarnock, Graham Carey for St Johnstone, Mo Silla for Dundee, Dyson Maida for Celtic, Josh Campbell for Hibs, and Ronan Hale for Ross County. I would say it's a pretty significant upgrade on the team we actually played the weekend league with, when all of the teams were being represented previously. Who knows, now that I have achieved that 11 wins goal, I might jump in with them again this weekend or maybe in a couple of weekends' time to see how they get on. I have turned on crossplay again after getting the 11 wins. I turned it off because I didn't want to risk any PC players taking wins away from me or something like that. So I've turned it back on. We'll see how that impacts the matchmaking. Danny Armstrong is the one that I chose to put into the Footies Countdown one. So in 6 days' time, or 7 days' time, sorry, I'll be able to use him. He'll be going in, obviously, over Czerny. Czerny will probably drop to the bench, unless Czerny goes into an Evo in that time, of course. And he'll jump in to that right mid spot for the first time in a little while. And I've got a couple of options for the Spread Your Wings Evo. If there's no decent chains that come out within the 8 days, I'll probably put in this Luis Palma, decent rating and decent stat. But I'm potentially looking at someone like Scott Tiffany, if there's any chain Evos that can go into it to get somebody that's a wee bit lower rated and we haven't used as much up to a usable rating. But that's going to do it for the video, guys. If you are new around here, please consider liking and subscribing and checking out some of the other content on the channel, not just the RTG, to see how the team has evolved over the course of the years, but also but also checking out some of the other content on the channel as well, whatever takes your fancy, whether it's football content, wrestling content, gaming content, that sort of thing. Thank you very much to all the viewers and subscribers. Of course, we've taken a little bit of a break, but we're back at it now, fingers crossed, for some more consistent uploads, with that being the case. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.